are great. They're excellent. They create no problems whatsoever.
The big thing is when you're going to have to work for less in order to keep your job. And, you know, then you add the negative equity that's maybe coming in the, you know, in the house thing. Yeah. You're going to see real pain. I mean, if this goes ahead, you're going to see real pain.
And if we vote yes on the EU treaty and then this sort of thing happens, the other companies come in, the cheaper labour comes into Ireland, and then the Irish people decide we don't want that, we don't like that. How easy will it be for us to change that on the EU level?
See, the thing about it is that this is coming in anyways. It only happened in late December.
So you should not only fear qualified majority votes in the Council, you should also fear, for instance, the court in Luxembourg. They can then use the extended areas of cooperation to make it their way. Let me give you a new example. 18th of December 2007, just before Christmas, they took, the court in Luxembourg took a very important and far-reaching decision in the so-called Laval case. A Latvian company went to Sweden, built a school, the Latvian salaries. The trade unions in Sweden were not against foreigners coming, helping to build a school, but they insisted that those who come should go for a Swedish salary when they work in Sweden. This case was then brought to the court, and Sweden was outlawed by the court. So it's now legal in Ireland, and the Constitution, Lisbon Treaty, will legalize it formally by approving the verdicts, the existing verdicts. It's now legal for foreign companies to come to Ireland, the foreign labour, and give them the salary they deserve at home, in Latvia at home. This is possible. If you have a minimum salary, as you have in Ireland, €8 or something like that, then you can force them to pay the €8 as a minimum salary. But you cannot force them to pay the normal salary. And then there are two consequences. They come and take your jobs because they're cheaper. Or they come and have a lower salary, and you can keep your job by lowering your own salary.
You know,
so it's going to come in even if we vote no.
But where voting no will affect it is that the Services Directive, which this is based on, at the moment we could fight through the courts, you know, with Irish law, with the right to work, you know, with whatever. We could take the best of what we have left and try to fight things like this.
Using the Irish Constitution.
Whatever. And so once it's completely superseded, then we're just completely at the mercy of the Services Directive and this judgment that defines a need protection around tax. We need more than just it'll never happen, because it is happening.
It's happening now.
We need protection around, you know, that if someone comes here to work, that's fine, but they need to work at the same level that an Irish person works at. We need protection around sensitive issues, that we keep those decisions to ourselves.
10% of our population are now New Irish, as we call them. The figure 10 years ago was 1.5%. When the new member states joined in the accession, the 1st of May 2004, that we would open up Ireland to those 10 new member states, and we did that. European Union at the moment that was formulated around maybe 9 or 10 countries. There's 27, and it'll be soon probably 30.
What they're going to do is, over the next 20 years, they're going to bring in 20 million skilled workers from Africa and Asia into Europe, and they're going to match the skills to the ones we need. And that's how they plan to deal with the aging population.
Every family has a son or a daughter or an uncle or an aunt who is in this situation. It's my job or my salary which is threatened. And it'll be the battle on the Vaxholm case will be a very big battle in Sweden and Denmark and other member states, particularly in Sweden and Denmark, because we have no minimum salary. In Denmark, you can go and work for 40 cents an hour. We have 85% of our workers in trade unions, so no one goes for 45 cents and work. But it's not a law. So in Denmark, when implemented now in Denmark, Latvian workers can go for 45 cents work legally in Denmark.
One of the biggest proposals in the Lisbon Treaty is that for the first time we will be handing over our criminal law to the EU. Instead of our rights being enshrined in our constitution and upheld by our Supreme Court, we will now be at the mercy of faceless judges in the European Courts of Justice. This is a very sinister new proposal, and we should be extremely wary of handing over this power.
If there's any Irish or national law that conflicts with that, or the terms of which conflict with that, well then the EU law prevails. Thus, for example, one other very important development in this Lisbon Treaty is that the EU Charter of Fundamental Rights, which is a Charter of Rights, right to all sorts of good things, right to free movement, right to free speech, right to life, right to public health and all the rest of it. These rights are set out in the Charter. Well, that sounds grand, but the important thing is that the EU would then get, the EU Court of Justice, which is the EU Supreme Court, would then get the final say in deciding what our rights are.
I've talked to each and every individual apart from Cathy herself about this issue. It's about Article 14 of the Irish Constitution, it's habeas corpus. And basically we have reason to believe that habeas corpus is not going to exist if this treaty is actually brought through. And I was just wondering if you could actually comment on this.
If, for instance, Spain or the UK would ask to take you for some suspicion of some crime, then the Irish judge shall only ask what is your name, and if your name is what is wanted, the Irish authorities are obliged to deliver you for eventually 4 years prison in Spain without being put for a judge.
That's insane.
That's possible. In my country, salmonella is more often cause for deaths than terror. So we stick to our principle that 24 hours you can be in prison, and after 24 hours you have to be before a judge, and if the judge do not prison you, then you are a free man.
Under what provision was this?
This is already now. It's the law already now under the.
In relation to the treaty.
Yes, it's a part of the Lisbon Treaty as well. The difference is it cannot be done by qualified majority. According to this. But it's a rule when if you are under terror suspicion, the Irish judge may not put other questions to you. Just deliver a person to a British judge or to a Spanish judge. But this is a decision taken in the European Union on the basis of the justice and home and fair paragraphs. And in my view, this is a wrong decision.
Sorry, I just wanted to.
We're not here to discuss.
I